need to move on to our next topic. And there's been a lot of discussion about timelines and warp speed.
Yes.
And as a Star Trek fan,
Yes. Important.
fan is possibly not an appropriate term. It's sort of an obsession. But anyway, uh, talk to us about vaccines. Where are we at?
I
What do we
would
need?
love to.
What do we do?
I'd love to, because this is the hopeful part of the thing. But before I do, I want to finish one question. Madeline asks, can anyone who tested positive for antibodies donate plasma for convalescent plasma containing those COVID-19 antibodies? So I will put you guys in touch with a group that is organizing. They're called Survivor Corps, and they have the individual local resources that are doing the collection for convalescent plasma. There are some limitations to who can, a few limitations to who can donate convalescent plasma. They have to do with the types of medications that you may be taking for any chronic diseases. So high concentrations of certain medications preclude you to contribute to that pool. So that's important to know. If you still want to donate convalescent plasma, then they'll tell you you are going to have to go off that medication for 8 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever. And if it is possible for you to go off that medication without detriment to your own health, then you can. And that's obviously something that is individually you'll have to decide whether you want to do. One thing that I will note is that there's already guidance from those who are collecting the plasma and I believe the FDA issued the guidance that anyone taking Truvada will not be able to donate unless they have been off the medication for at least 12 weeks. Truvada is a prophylactic anti-HIV or prophylaxis against HIV. The list of other medications, I guess John and I will have to assemble and put out onto the resource page, but that's a great question. So those who want to, who've gotten the test back, they're positive for antibodies, they want to contribute because convalescent plasma is definitely showing effectiveness in treating even the most difficult cases of COVID, then we'll put that list out there, connect you with Survivor Corps, and hopefully you'll be able to do that. Okay, now vaccine. With regard to potential vaccine, there are generally, are they generally made in a one-size-fits-all format, or do they select particular vaccine dependent on a person's blood type, race, or other factors? Great question. Excellent question. Okay, so now, okay, let's go over the basics, the very basics. So there are 4 types of vaccine that we develop and deploy. The first type is called live vaccine. Live attenuated vaccine is you take the virus and you do something to it so that you have taken away its ability to be a son of a bitch. We call it removal of virulence, okay? And then you introduce the live vaccine that can't cause the disease. And there's lots of reasons why it can't, or the methods of attenuation, but for that, you need to pay me to teach you. So the live vaccine is taken, we attenuate it, we give it to you. So examples of attenuated vaccines are measles, mumps, and rubella, smallpox, chickenpox, and others that are more esoteric, like yellow fever and things like that. Live vaccine, okay? Why do we do this? Because it gives the body a full, what we call a full antigenic picture of the infectious agent. And with that full antigenic picture, you get a long life of protection. Okay? So that's one thing. Now, we give that to everyone, all children. These vaccines are deemed safe for. Again, not going to debate that. so these confer lifelong protection because of that full antigenic picture. The second type is inactivated. So inactivated are where it's a dead thing. It's dead. It can't replicate. It's just dead. It's there. It's somewhat of the full antigenic picture. But it's usually many strains altogether, like the polyvalent strain of flu vaccine. What else? Hepatitis A, the polio vaccine, rabies. These are vaccines that we can give to you when we've killed the infectious agent, put it in a mechanism for us to give you a shot. All right, then the most recent types are subunit or recombinant, or what we call the bits. Okay, we pull the infectious agent apart. We concentrate what we call the most antigenic pieces of the infectious agent. And antigenic means the ones that are going to make your body's immune system pick up and respond. Okay, so that's going to confer an immediate protection, and it may require a booster. Okay, so that's like Hep B, whooping cough, which is part of DTaP, pneumococcus, so the pneumovax that we give to the elderly, meningococcal disease, meningococcus vaccine, which we recommend for travelers and others and kids. So that's the type of vaccine that we'll probably be producing for COVID. Okay, we're going to rip the thing apart. We're going to get the different strains and figure out how we can package them all together, and we're going to develop a vaccine that confers protection. Now, those vaccines tend to have a curve that goes like this, and as a result of that curve being shorter instead of the long lifelong protection, we have to boost you, or we have to update you with the latest flu vaccine, which is based on the fact that the flu mutates every year, and we have to keep it up to date to make sure that it's protective. Now, whether it's a dirty little secret or not, the flu vaccine confers protection between 42 and 67% of the time. Okay, so it's not it's not a guarantee that if you get the flu vaccine that you won't contract the flu this year. There's people obviously, I got the flu vaccine and I got sick anyway. That's true. That happens. Okay. Now, with this COVID disease, it's very likely that we will develop a vaccine that you will have to take yearly or every other year, as we update, as we continue to add the strains that emerge, and have to address a yearly seasonal outbreak or a season of the I don't know, I would prefer to call it, it's flu season. It may be COVID season, I don't know, or SARS season. It sucks, but maybe that is something that we will deal with until we find ways to eradicate it. But that's that. So specifically, this is and will be developed as a seasonal for all vaccine that is not specific to a specific race or sex or age group. So I hope that helps.